Everyman Driver Nation, coming soon, my first drive and review of the 2014 BMW X3 xDrive 28i. They first introduced this sports activity vehicle in 2004. Now they've re-engineered it to have more power, more space, and more features than ever before. My video coming soon. In the meantime, if you haven't already, click on that subscribe button so you can receive updates on my new video uploads, and like us on Facebook, keyword Everyman Driver. Stay tuned. And a big welcome back to Everyman Driver. I am your host, Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. This, my friends, is the 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander. It features 7-passenger seating as standard on all trim levels for 2014, as opposed to last year's model, which had both 5 and 7-passenger configurations, and represents the 3rd generation Outlander for Mitsubishi. Now, this comes in 3 trim levels: the entry-level ES, the SE, which comes in both 2-wheel drive and super all-wheel control, which I have right here, and the most powerful of all 3 trim levels, the GT. On the outside, the 2014 Outlander projects a very clean, simple, and yet progressive approach to its design. Halogen headlights and fog lights are standard, along with a front grille with chrome accents, heated side mirrors with mounted LED turn signal indicators, rear combination tail lights, and privacy glass, plus 18-inch alloy wheels. Now, together with aerodynamic improvements and weight reductions over previous models, this year's Outlander can achieve much better fuel economy. So under the hood of the 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander, you're looking at a 2.4-liter single overhead cam inline 4-cylinder mated to a CVT. It can produce 166 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque, and early fuel economy numbers put this at 24 miles per gallon in the city and up to 29 on the highway, although I have read sub-reports where it can achieve 31 miles per gallon on the highway. I've put about 225 miles on it this week, and I've been averaging in mixed driving 22 miles per gallon, so kind of disappointing. Now, I would strongly suggest looking at the GT trim level. Much more powerful engine, and fuel economy doesn't suffer that much. It has a 3-liter V6 mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission and can achieve 244 horsepower, and early numbers on that, 20 city up to 28 on the highway. There are 3 all-new safety features on the 2014 Outlander. Number 1 is lane departure warning, which is a camera-based system which monitors the lane lines on the road, so anytime you cross those lines, you'll get both an audible and visual warning. Some people can find this annoying, but you can turn it off. Second is Adaptive Cruise Control, or ACC, which is a radar-based system. This allows you to set a comfortable speed and then automatically follows the vehicle in front of you based on current traffic conditions, all the way down to a stop if necessary. Those controls are right here on the steering wheel, and you can choose from 3 following distance settings from shortest to closest. The third is a forward collision mitigation system, another radar-based system to detect objects or obstacles in front of you. This will give you a warning, and in fact, it'll apply the brakes to minimize the event of any collision. Some people might think this is Big Brother, but I do find this as a valuable safety tool when driving on the road. This Outlander is an optimized version of the Super all-wheel control system and has 4 driving modes available, all through a switch here, a circular button actually between you and the passenger. The first is all-wheel control eco mode, which is a 2-wheel drive mode. However, it does come with 4-wheel drive in the event of any wheel slippage. This is the most fuel-efficient driving mode to have. The other modes are snow, normal, and lock mode. Speaking of snow, or if you're interested in doing any light off-roading, you do have 8.5 inches of ground clearance. This 2014 Outlander also has an eco button mode right here in front of me, which will automatically help you drive in the most fuel-efficient mode possible. The first is an engine control, which will reduce the throttle sensitivity. The second is air conditioning control, which is optimized to reduce the load on the engine and the overall airflow volume. And the third is the super all-wheel control system we've talked about before. When you switch to eco mode, this system is automatically chosen. The interior of the 2014 Outlander is outstanding, from its fit, finish, and overall quality. Just think simple, convenient, and clean. You'll find a good mix of luxury and durability with lots of soft touch materials throughout. Standard are a 6.1-inch full-color LCD multi-informational display, although my tester has the upgraded touring package, so my screen is 7 inches and includes navigation, real-time traffic, and so on. You have a leather-wrapped steering wheel and shift knob, gloss black instrument panel, heated front seats, front dual-zone climate control, backup camera, and steering wheel-mounted cruise and audio controls, to name a few. All right, it is time for some real-world legroom and headroom inside the Mitsubishi Outlander. First of all, this was my driving position in the front seat, and here's how much room I have between my knees and the back of the seat, so this is adequate. I'd say it's on par for where it should be. Headroom is really good right here in the middle row seats. The third row seats will be a completely different story. Show you that in just a moment. This glass sunroof you see right here, that is part of the premium package, so that is not standard. And also part of the premium package is this leather seating back here, which is nice, a little bit firm. Now I can pull this lever to go back just a little bit to give myself a little bit more flexibility and comfort back here. That's just fine. Kind of some hard plastics back here. Kind of looks a little bit cheap in the doors. You do have your 4 blank handles all the way around. There is a compartment behind the seat back of the driver and passenger, so some things that you can store right there. The middle row seats does have an armrest that comes down that has a couple of cup holders there. Put that back. The real challenge though is getting in the back row seats. Not a big challenge, it is doable, but once you do get back there, that's where we're gonna have some challenges. Slides forward, get back here. Now, I'm 5'11", and look how much headroom or lack of headroom I have back here, which I think says a lot about who should be in the third row seats. It's gonna be kids or it's gonna be smaller adults, because this is not a place that I wanna sit back and enjoy a long ride. Luckily, this middle row seat does slide back and forth to give you a little bit more flexibility, but when it does, it kind of lessens the amount of legroom the person in front of you would have. Again, there are some hard plastics, but containers here for cups and maybe some keys. An amazing stereo system that comes all the way back here, which is nice. Again, I think the headroom is the biggest complaint back here. Yes, it can sit 7 people, but your adults better be in the middle row or the front seats back here is where we're going to have the kids. Let's take a look now at cargo room and space in the trunk. Now, an automatic liftgate is a must nowadays. If you ask me, in my opinion, for these 7-passenger family haulers, the last thing you need to worry about is trying to fumble with your keys and open up the latch so you can open the back of your vehicle when your hands are full with groceries or packages or kids. So there are 2 ways to open this vehicle. There's a button just below where the driver is. Push that, or there's one here on the key fob. Double click that, and up comes your liftgate on the Outlander. Now, there is a lot of space back here, but you have to find it. There is about 10 cubic feet of volume behind this third row of seats, and there is a little bit of space just below here. The spare tire is under the vehicle. Now, this does serve a purpose. The purpose is holding these headrests, because when you want to fold this seat down, these won't fit. So that's what those are used for. Now, if you want to triple your amount of cargo space, this is what this is all about. You fold these down, and now you're looking at about 34 cubic feet of volume. This is what I mean by making more space. 10, now 34. Now, once you press the middle row seats forward, you're going to increase the cargo volume by about 64 total cubic feet of volume. Now we're talking about some usable space back here. Although the floorboard stops, it drops down, so it's not completely flat or level. but it's something you can work with. By the way, if you're interested, this is rated to haul up to 1,500 pounds behind the vehicle, so if you do have something you want to tow, that is your capacity. Even though this is an acceptable amount of cargo room and storage space, it doesn't seem to flow very well. It seems a little bit disjointed in my opinion. There's gaps, there's spaces behind the middle row of seats. It doesn't lay flat all the way through, and you have to configure this to even get that type of space versus some that lay down a little bit more smoothly, in my opinion. So the beginning MSRP here on the 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander SE is $25,795. As I mentioned earlier, I also have the touring package on my tester, so what you see right here is just under 33 grand. I would highly suggest upgrading to the GT trim level. You get a more powerful motor, gas mileage doesn't suffer that much, everything else is the same, and that CVT that's in this vehicle kind of takes away from the driving experience in my opinion. Either way, it's worth a look and a test drive. Until next time, I'm Dave Erickson with Everyman Driver. Thanks for watching.